Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayadiraye. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavate uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati neshtike. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unnalitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Sri Caitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 3 Chapter 3 Text 19. Bhagwan api vishvatma loka veda pathanugaha kaman shisheve dvarvatyam asakta sankyam astitaha. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Simultaneously, the personality of Godhead enjoyed life in the city of Dwarka strictly in conformity with the Vedic customs of society. He was situated in detachment and knowledge as enunciated by the Sankhya system of philosophy. While Maharaj Yudhishthir was the emperor of the earth, Lord Sri Krishna was the king of Dwarka and was known as Dwarkadish. So one of Krishna's name is Dwarkadish, means the Lord of Dwarka. The LA deities, they are called Rukmani Dwarkadish, the ISKCON deities then. Like other subordinate kings, he was under the regime of Maharaj Yudhishthir. Although Lord Sri Krishna is the supreme emperor of the entire creation, while he was on this earth, he never violated the principles of the Vedic injunctions because they are the guide for human life. So when Krishna, he was the king of Dwarka, Maharaj Yudhishthir was the emperor of the whole world. He was ruling the whole world. So that means Krishna was under the rule of Maharaj Yudhishthir. Although he is the king of Dwarka, but he's under the emperor. No? Hastinapur that time was like the capital city of the whole world. And so Krishna, even though he's the Lord, he's the Supreme Lord, he's the one who's made the Vedas, but he followed the instructions. He followed the rules and regulations. He didn't say, oh, well, I'm God and nothing can touch me. No one can touch me. I cannot get any sin. So let me do whatever I want. No, he followed Why? To set an example. He says in the Bhagavad Gita that what a great personality does, common men follow. So he's showing by his example that we should also follow uh, the injunctions of the scriptures. Regulated human life according to the Vedic principles, which are based on the system of knowledge, are based on the system of knowledge called Sankhya philosophy, is the real way of enjoyment of the necessities of life. Without such knowledge, detachment, and custom, the so-called human civilization is no more than an animal society of eat, drink, be merry, and enjoy. And then now we can see the modern civilization, how we are doing. We are taught, oh, enjoy as much as you want, eat as much as you want, be merry, drink at any time, drink whatever you want, eat whatever you want. Why should you have any restrictions? But this kind of society is called animal society, not human civilization. We as human beings are supposed to follow the Vedas. What is supposed to be done, what's not supposed to be done is all mentioned in the Vedas. And when we follow, in fact, the Vedas, then we will really enjoy life then. Like we think that, oh, by having unrestricted sense enjoyment, I can do whatever I want at whatever time I want, eat whatever I want, drink whatever, whenever. With this, we are enjoying life. But actually, true enjoyment is when we follow the rules and regulations, what happens? We automatically become peaceful. We become satisfied. And then we become peaceful. And then when we are peaceful, we become happy. The Lord was acting freely as he willed. Yet, by his practical example, he taught not to lead a life which goes against the principles of detachment and knowledge. Attainment of knowledge and detachment, as very elaborately discussed in Sankhya philosophy, is the real perfection of life. So Sankhya philosophy is knowledge of detachment, what is matter, what is spirit, how do you detach. Knowledge means to know that the mission of the human form of life is to end all the miseries of material existence, and that in spite of having to fulfill the bodily necessities in a regulated way, one must be detached from such animal life. Fulfilling the demands of the body is animal life, and fulfilling the mission of the spirit soul is the human mission. So we are human beings. We are souls in the body of a human being. We have had bodies of animals also. And then when we are in the body of animal, there we don't follow the Vedas. We don't say, oh, I'm supposed to do this, I'm not supposed to do this. No, we eat and drink and eating, mating, defending, and sleeping as we like, unregulated when we are animals. But human beings are not supposed to do that. Human beings, we are supposed to, okay, we are in the body. So of course we have bodily necessities. We have to be practical. We can't be, psychotic and say, no, I'm not in this body. And so I'm not going to eat anything. No, we do. But we do it to a bare minimum in a regulated way. So then more time can be utilized to understand the spirit, who we are, the soul, and connect with Krishna. And the easiest way to do is Bhakti Yoga. Start chanting Hare Krishna. Hear from Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. That is actually human life. Bhagavatam says that till the time Atho Brahma Jigyasa, human life actually begins with the point when one begins to ask, who am I? When somebody questions. Before that, we are leading not human life, although we are in the form of a human. Then we are like two-legged animals. We are called as animals. So there is a distinction. That's the reason we are given this human body. And we have so much higher facilities in this human body than the animals. The reason is because we have a higher purpose to fulfill. Is that okay?
Yes, that means it's like self-realization.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Who am I? Who am I actually? Am I this body or am I someone else? Okay, really, I'm not the body, I'm the soul. Where do I come from? Who is God? What's my relationship with him? Where am I going to go after I leave this body? Or how am I supposed to act while I'm in this body? All those things. So text 20. Snigdha smita valokena vacha piyusha kalpaya charitrena navadyena shri niketena chatmana. He was there in his transcendental body, the residence of the goddess of fortune, with his usual gentle and sweetly smiling face, his nectarian words, and his flawless character. In the previous verse, it is described that Lord Krishna, being situated in the truths of Sankhya philosophy, is detached from all kinds of matter. In the present verse, it is described that he is the residence of the goddess of fortune. These two things are not at all contradictory. Lord Krishna is detached from the variegatedness of the inferior nature, but he is in eternal blissful enjoyment of the spiritual nature or his internal potency. So Prabhupada is pointing out here that we just heard it previous that Krishna was detached. He was detached from matter. And then we are saying that, oh, his body is the abode of residence of goddess of fortune. So how does that mean? Krishna is not attached to this material world, to the material energy. She is his external energy. Krishna is always with his internal energy, which is, there is no matter there. There is no earth, water, air, fire, ether. No, everything is Satchidananda. One who has a poor fund of knowledge cannot understand this distinction between external and internal potencies. In Bhagavad Gita, the internal potency is described as the Paraprakriti. So internal potency is the spiritual energy. And spiritual energy is called Paraprakriti. And the personification of this internal potency is Srimati Radharani. And Lakshmi Devi is an expansion of Srimati Radharani. In the Vishnu Puran also, the internal potency of Vishnu is described as Parashakti. The Lord is never detached from the association of Parashakti. This Parashakti and her manifestations are described in the Brahma Samhita 5.37 as Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Pratibhavita Bihi. The Lord is eternally joyful and cognizant in the taste derived from such transcendental bliss. Negation of the variegatedness of the inferior energy does not necessitate negation of the positive transcendental bliss of the spiritual world. So it doesn't mean that if Krishna is not attached to this matter, to this material world, there is no variety in the spiritual world. The spiritual world is full of variety, full of variety. And everything and everyone is joyful there. Therefore, the Lord's gentleness, his smile, his character, and everything related to him are all transcendental. Such manifestations of the internal potency are the reality of which the material shadow is only a temporary representation from which everyone with proper knowledge must be detached. So we are so attached to this external energy. In our experience, what we see is only the external energy. And that's why we are so attached to it. But the more we hear about Krishna, the more we hear and chant, to that degree, we will be detached from the material energy and be attached to the spiritual energy. To that degree. And we are encouraged. We are encouraged. Everyone with proper knowledge must be detached from this material energy. And what is the true detachment? Is that whatever we have, we engage it in the service of Krishna. That is true detachment. It's not that, oh, I'm not going to live at home. I'm going to go live in the forest. So that's how I'm detached. Or I'm not going to eat food. Or I'm going to eat very, very fruit, like, not good food at all because I want to be detached. No, that is still attachment because we are still going to be eating. We're still going to be living somewhere. True detachment is wherever we are, whatever we have, we offer it to Krishna. Offer the results of it to Krishna. We can prepare nice food stuff, offer it to Krishna, then we can eat. That is detachment. We have a house, we can keep deity of Krishna, worship him. That is detachment. So, text 21. Imam lokam amum cheva ramyan sutaram yadun reme shana dayadata shana stri shana sauridaha. The Lord enjoyed his pastimes both in this world and in other worlds, higher planets, specifically in the association of the Yadu dynasty. At leisure hours offered by night, he enjoyed the friendship of conjugal love with women. The Lord enjoyed in this world with his pure devotees. Although he is the personality of Godhead and is transcendental to all material attachment, he nevertheless exhibited much attachment for his pure devotees on the earth, as well as for the demigods who engage in his service and the heavenly planets as powerful delegated directors in the management of all material activities. Krishna is actually very detached because he's Atmaram. He's fully satisfied in himself because he's the Supreme Lord. Yet he's very attached to his devotees. And that attachment is not material. It's on the transcendental platform. It's spiritual. So even if we get attached to the devotees, that is spiritual. That is good attachment because we are getting attached to the devotees who are attached to Krishna. And we get attached to Krishna, very good. That's what is needed. That is not material. And here Prabhupada is mentioning that Krishna also exhibited attachment for the demigods because the demigods are also devotees of Krishna and they are doing great service for him to manage this universe. The management of the universe is given by Krishna to the demigods. Like for example, there is a boss of a company and then it's a big company and so there are different departments and then different managers are needed to run the company. That's how. So like Krishna is the boss and then he has different managers and different departments, Department of Finance or Department of Production and Department of, cost analysis or whatever. So quality control. It's the same way. So he displayed special attachment for his family members, the Yadus, as well as for his 16,000 wives who had the opportunity to meet him in the leisure hours of night. All these attachments of the Lord are manifestations of his internal potency, of which the external potency is only a shadow representation. So Krishna's attachments appear to us as material because we have material attachments, but Krishna's attachments are all on the transcendental platform. In the Skanda Purana, Prabhas Khanda, in the topics between Lord Shiva and Gauri, the manifestation of his internal potencies is confirmed. There is mention of the Lord's meeting with 16,000 cowherd damsels, although he is the Hamsa, transcendental supersoul, and maintainer of all living entities. The 16,000 cowherd damsels are a display of 16 varieties of internal potency. This will be more elaborately explained in the 10th canto. It is said there that Lord Krishna is just like the moon, and the damsels, part of his internal potencies, are like the stars around the moon. So it's a very nice analogy given that Krishna is the moon and all his the gopis, his queens, they are like the stars around the moon. And Krishna showed great attachment to him. And what is mentioned here is the Skand Puran and topics between Lord Shiva and Parvati. where Lord Shiva is telling to Parvati about Krishna and his meeting with his gopis. So text 22. Tasyevam Ramamanasya Samvatsara Ganan Bahun Grahamedeshu Yogeshu Viraga Samajayata. The Lord was thus engaged in household life for many, many years, but at last his detachment from ephemeral sex life was fully manifested. Even though the Lord is never attached to any kind of material sex life, as the universal teacher, he remained a householder for many, many years, just to teach others how one should live in householder life. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains that the word samajayata means fully exhibited. In all his activities while present on the earth, the Lord exhibited detachment. So like Prabhupada would say, sex life is non-existent in the spiritual world. That is only in this material world because of our perverted mentality that we are so attached to sex life. But Krishna, when he was on this earth, because he was married, he showed how to properly live in married life because he's setting the example for us. He didn't just leave his wives and go away. No, he stayed with them. He had a very nice family relationship with them. So this was fully displayed when he wanted to teach by example that one should not remain attached to household life for all the days of one's life. One should naturally develop detachment as a matter of course. The Lord's detachment from household life does not indicate detachment from his eternal associates, the transcendental cowherd damsels. But the Lord desired to end his so-called attachment to the three modes of material nature. He can never be detached from the service of his transcendental associates like Rukmini and other goddesses of fortune, as described in the Brahma Samhita, Lakshmi Sahasra Shata Sambrahma Sevama Sevyamanam. So Krishna, he is ideal householder. So he's teaching us also that we should not just remain in householder life till the time, we shouldn't be so attached to our material duties till the time we are dying. Of course, as the course progresses of life, that's the reason he made brahmachari life, the early lives where we are being educated, we are being trained. Then is the grihastha life where we are married. Then after the married life, once the responsibilities are over, we should retire from active family life. That is vanaprastha, where we should engage more in hearing and chanting, trying to understand. And then the final stage is complete renunciation. That's what Krishna exhibited. So, any questions or comments?
Yes, Swami. Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Lord Krishna has so many wives and so many children. Still, he called himself as a brahmachari. How it is possible?
Because he doesn't have lust in his heart. He has only love. He has no lust. That's why he is the brahmachari. That's what Bhishma Dev says, right? That Krishna is the best brahmachari, He has only love. He's not attached to all the his wives and his children like the way we are. We have this material attachment. We have that lust with us. But Krishna is only love.
In other words, and he don't identify himself with body.
He has a transcendental body. His body is not like ours. How we have a material body, he does not have a material body. We are actually souls, right? We are also Satchidananda. And right now we are in this body. So there is a difference between ourselves and this body. But Krishna, there is no difference between himself and his body. His body is spiritual, is transcendental, is Satchidananda. It's not that his body is different than his soul, that his body is made up of earth, water, air, fire, ether, and that inside that body is Krishna's soul. No. Krishna, his body is transcendental. His body is made of Satchidananda. He is Satchidananda.
Good, good. Thank you.
Okay, welcome. So, reading on. Shall we, was there anything else that we, because this might take a little bit more.
No, all good.
Good, so then we can stop here for today.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Srimad
Thank you,
Bhagavatam.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhupada.
Jai. Thank you.